Okay, so today we're at one of our favorite vendors, Archive. Hi everyone, my name is Abby Lee. Welcome back to my channel, and today we are doing something super fun. Today's video is going to be all about tablescapes. So we are going to talk about the basics of a tablescape for your wedding, things to consider, what you guys can get or rent. And today we are at a special place. We are in Archive Rentals. So they are a specialty rental company based out in San Clemente here in SoCal, but they also have multiple locations in Portland, Texas. So we are here today. We're going to be showcasing some of their fun pieces. I had Krammer design 2 different styles of tables. So if you guys follow us on Instagram and seen some of our work, I'm sure you guys have seen some of her work. She does beautiful just designs. So now introducing the wedding fairy herself, Krammer. Like I said, Krammer has kind of put together these 2 really beautiful tables that you guys are about to see. So what would you name these tables? What kind of aesthetic would you call them?
I mean, I don't like putting labels on things. I'm just more of like a vibe person and like a mood person. So I feel like I wanted them to be obviously 2 totally different looks. The first one is a very like light and airy, imagine almost like a brunch. We're coming into spring here soon, so it's was getting in the spring vibes. You know, some people are really over the word blush because it's been really outdone, but this is a new take on blush. This is like the classy, like cool blush. It's not like regular blush, it's cool blush. The second one is all about the vibes. Super moody, a lot of like gray and like burnt orange and like brass tones, all that stuff people are into right now. So I wanted to like not, it's like bringing things that have been done. Yeah, just making it cool again.
With fresh new ideas, like in our other video that we talked about. What we're gonna do is show you guys the 2 different looks and just kind of chat through the different elements, like I said, of the tablescape. So that's the whole purpose of this video, is to kind of educate you guys on the different components of what you guys can consider getting for your guest tables.
First look is this one here. What you're seeing here would be considered like an upgraded table. There's a lot of different names for these. Some people call them like farm tables or just wood tables. Basically what it is a really pretty table that does not need a linen. They obviously make a statement and fun to play with. So we chose to obviously not linen this and just accent it with a runner. Or sometimes if you want to do a mixture, you could do like half linened tables and then half non-linened tables, which looks really pretty as well.
A second thing to kind of consider when you're designing your tablescape is a charger. So what that is basically this under plate. Like you don't eat your dinner off this, not to be confused with your actual dinner plate. This is just something to kind of set your table and ground it. So it adds a lot to your table because obviously it's another element, and they come in all different shapes and sizes and colors. So obviously the ones that we're using in this design is more of like a wood-based one, but they have glass ones, they have like marble ones. It's a great element also if you're doing like a plated dinner. Typically with like plated dinners, your dinner plates are like in the back. If you just want something on your table to kind of ground everything, a charger is a great thing to consider.
The next element's the cutlery that we chose. Obviously everyone needs cutlery to eat their dinner, and this is just a little added something that you can spruce it up with. Makes a really big difference. If this was like a silver, like regular cutlery, it wouldn't have as big of an impact, obviously.
Next to cutlery is your glassware. Usually on a tablescape, you're gonna have a water goblet, a champagne flute, and sometimes a wine glass. So obviously everything just kind of depends whether you're caterer, what your menu is, etc., etc. But something that we like to do and encourage is to do upgraded glassware. At the very least, doing an upgraded water goblet and something that's colored and textured into something kind of like this. It just adds a lot to your tablescape, to your design, and elevates your table. Sometimes there's like 4 glasses on the table, sometimes there's just 1. So it just kind of depends on what your preference is, but something that's colored and upgraded does a lot for your tables.
Okay, so up next on our table is plates. Again, all of these are super necessities to have dinner. This would be considered an upgraded plate. I know it doesn't look like much, but if you were to feel it, it's super heavy. It's more like a stone rather than like a porcelain. It is porcelain, but it has like a stone look and feel to it. So this is a dinner plate. The little one would be a bread plate or a salad plate. These are usually on the table. They're just usually like above. If it's a bread plate, they're a little bit smaller and usually above your setting. So we use this one as a salad plate and then layered it onto our dinner plate. So again, upgraded. This is just a fun color like an amber to play with the glassware. These all came in different styles and shapes, which is fun as well.
Another element to consider, well, what you do need is a napkin. So this is something that we always highly encourage to do upgraded, just because there's different types of textures, colors, add a lot to your table. You need all of this, especially napkins. It's a small detail that really makes an impact. And this is something a little bit more like exciting than just a regular poly napkin. And this also obviously looks better tied. Like I said in a previous video, when you're doing napkins, it's really important to consider the texture of your napkins. So something to consider, napkins, super important. Makes a big difference. So that's napkins. Another element to a tablescape is stationery. So in this one, we in particular did a menu. And so it's just another element just to bring up the aesthetic of your tablescape. So other things to consider is a reception card. So if you don't want to do a menu, but you want to do like a thank you card, that's something to consider. Place cards if you want to pick the seats of where your guests are going to be sitting, or if you are plated and you need meal indicators, that's also another element. Table numbers can also sometimes be considered stationery. So
Paper elements.
Paper elements.
All right, next on the list is runner. So in this particular case, I chose to do a macrame runner. Really brings the whole vibe of this table together. If you picture this table without the runner, it would not look the same. So it kind of brings in like all the whitish, ivory, grayish elements together. And again, a runner is just something that goes down the middle of your table. A table like this, so like a nicer wood table, I think that they look really pretty on there, not so much a round table.
So another big element that this should be a requirement is candles. So you can do candles in different formats. What we chose today is basically just to use votives. So we also use taper candle brass sticks. So we chose to not actually use taper candles. So this is just kind of, you can consider this just a different like decor element. Chairs. So there are just a whole array of different kinds of chairs that you can pick, different colors, different textures. We did a mix of benches and these
king and queen chairs.
Yes.
Like head of the table.
Yeah.
Now we want to touch on this little moment here. So this obviously isn't on the table, and this necessarily isn't for a reception table. We just kind of did it to really accent the table and kind of stage it. This would be more maybe for like a dinner party if you were hosting something like this at your house, but this is what we really do more for sweetheart tables. So down like at the foot of the table on either side. I'm a really big asymmetrical person, so maybe like a super big cluster on one side and then maybe just florals on the other side. But something like this, again, it's super sleek, modern, but it really adds a lot. So this would be like a little sweetheart table cluster at the bottom of it. Obviously you have to have a centerpiece of some sort, whether it be an actual centerpiece like this, or it be some loose greens down the table or some blooms. Again, just kind of playing with colors and really incorporating all the colors on the table into the florals helps as well. So centerpiece. Okay, so we've made it over to look 2, table number 2. So what we're gonna do here is kind of briefly describe the differences and point out some of the different elements between the two. They essentially have the same base, just totally different vibe and look, as you can tell. More of like a brunch, fun little like girls, even like bridal shower.
So I think one of the main differences on this table versus the last table is we did end up using taper candles. So this is what a taper candle is, and obviously adds more height onto this tablescape. So that's kind of the biggest difference. We also added in different, again, decor elements. So on the other table, we did the brass sticks, but here are geo shapes. So just fun little differences. We did a runner, but just in a different texture, upgraded flatware, but this has just a little bit more detail. But other than that, again, pretty much the same thing, just different look.
We didn't go with a bench look here because I fell in love with these when I saw them. Super modern and cool, just a whole vibe. It's giving me all the feels. But yeah, a lot of texture is always fun to play with. I did go with a champagne flute instead of a water and wine. You still have a water goblet, but a champagne flute. This one's kind of small, but it's cute.
So this is the same kind of essentially napkin fold, but just a different kind of texture. So as you guys can see, this one is a little bit more of like a cotton based one versus the linen one in the different table, and this one isn't fringed, but this one has just like a cool dye detail. So again, different vibe. So this flatware is, I mean, it is gold, but it is a different just kind of finish, and just the detail of this is different than the first tablescape. So again, just the little details in the items just kind of bring out different aesthetics. Both pretty still though.
coming back to the centerpiece and florals. So again, this table also has an actual centerpiece with florals, super fun different heights in here. Obviously totally different colors because you can see how the color scheme of your table depicts the color scheme of your florals. So again, more light, airy, lushes, all the things in here.
Okay, so this is Kayla. She's with Archive Rentals, and she was nice enough to let us play with all this stuff. So I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Much fun. We're looking forward to having you guys come by again.
Don't have to ask us twice.
I know.
We'll be back.
All right, you guys, that's it. So thank you again. Huge shout out to Archive Rentals. Thank you guys. We love your stuff. Thanks for letting us come and play a little bit with all your beautiful things. And we will always recommend you guys forever and always because I have a huge love for all your stuff. So thank you again to Archive Rentals.
Yes, so we are super grateful if you guys check them out. We will link all of their links of their website, their Instagrams down below in the description box. But make sure to follow all of us at Sugar Plum & Co, at Krammer_Sugar Plum, and at Archive Rentals. Thank you guys so much. Again, everybody.